What's up? It's MangoBae. We talk Diwali being the new holiday in New York. We talk LGBTQ rights in India, and we talk some dating. It's wild. It's fun. It's Mango. It's Bae.
MangoBae, MangoBae. MangoBae.
For the exclusive content, don't forget to join our Patreon at patreon.com/MangoBae.
Bae. Welcome to MangoBae.
Welcome to MangoBae, one-stop shop for South Asian recklessness. We are two best boys who are comics in New York, Usama Siddiquee, Pranav, Behari, and we bring you the South Asian jungly, the weird, the crazy, the wild, the jokes.
We're the best game in town.
Come on, baby.
For brown podcasting content.
You already know, dude.
But we're not a bunch of losers, gatekeeper-y brown types like we were talking about with Emil actually last episode.
Not at all. Check that episode out. It's fucking fire. Get on the Patreon.com/MangoBae. Exclusive content, early access, archived episodes, Discord server. What are you waiting for? Get into it.
Let's get going. What do you got for me? You got a jungly story?
I do got a jungly story for you today, bro. This is not necessarily this week, but I remembered a story about an old flame that I had, and some weird. I want to know if you ever had a woman like this in your life. I was gonna ask you regardless, podcast or not. So there was this girl that, we had to FaceTime about three hours at least, every day, right?
Okay.
So I'd come home 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. FaceTime, right? Every day.
That's terrible.
She got angry if I didn't do this. And at the end of this FaceTime, after all this cooing and at the end she'd always be like,
no coming.
No coming, just cooing.
Yeah.
She'd be like, hey, say something nice about me. 3 hours of talk. Say something nice about me. And here's the kicker. I couldn't repeat anything I've ever said.
This is like Saw. This is like the relationship Saw.
This is the relationship Saw.
Yeah, after 3 hours of talking on FaceTime, now say something nice about
Let's
me.
play a game. This is not a game.
Did this person by chance have a father that was absent in their life?
Perhaps. Actually, very interesting. Maybe.
Sounds like she's craving approval from a male figure.
That's true.
She was a very hot person as well, which means maybe those are the most insecure people as well, who always need to be affirmed. Right. By day 5, I was saying shit like, I love your earlobes. Your left thigh is awesome. I couldn't, I had run out of stuff.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you ever had
Never once were you like, I like your personality.
Oh, never, dude. Your earwax is gooey like me when I see you. It was brutal because I was losing it. I couldn't help.
Yeah.
I wonder if you ever had a good girl like this.
Well, you must have really liked her if you kept that up.
FaceTiming. She was hot, dude.
Okay.
That's what it is.
That's all it was.
She was hot, dude. That's all I'm saying. The dude is very important because that's how how dumb it was.
Have I ever had that before? Yes, I have. And that's a huge red flag. I mean, first of all,
what did you ever do? How did you calm that person down? How did you make that person stop losing it?
Well, when I was in the moment and I was in that time in my life, I did what you did, which was
acquiesce.
Yes, of course, because I'm in it too, right?
Right.
Because these are like personality disorder types, chaotic personality disorder types, right? That you're getting with, and they're really hot. Yet, despite the fact that they're beautiful, maybe have other kinds of privilege in their life, they're so insanely insecure that they need constant affirmation because they lack the ability to self-soothe.
That's the thing.
That's the thing.
That's the main thing. There's no system.
Yes, exactly.
So you become a cog in their engine.
Yeah.
And if they don't have you, they start freaking out.
If a person can't validate themselves, that's a huge red flag. And if they need constant validation from outside, that means this person is also probably very susceptible to cheating as well. Because the minute that you're not giving them that dose, that narcissistic dose that they need, they're going to go and get it somewhere else immediately and get
from
satisfaction.
Someone who's better at doing it,
or just in that moment needing it, right? It's both an act of vengeance towards you as well as getting the validation that they need. Like, I'm attractive, I'm desirable,
right? And it goes twofold. They were like, oh, if I cheat on him, he'll like me even, he'll want me even more.
Maybe, yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yes,
where it's
exactly.
Like I am now the center of your thoughts.
Yeah. How did this end with this person?
Yeah, we're getting married tomorrow. No, dude. I think one day I repeated a compliment, and she's like, I'm fucking your brother. I was thinking about this. I'm dating now, and I'm just like, dude, I have less and less patience for the lack of confidence. Anytime they're not self-realized in some way, I just disengage. I'm just like,
I mean, look, it's hard to find somebody, and we're not totally self-realized people, right? But you got to at least be on the path. You know what I mean? You got to have a little bit of self-awareness.
I do want to meet this girl when she's 70 now. And I had to date her again and see the changes. And then I have her on FaceTime. Say a nice thing
Your
about
chicken
me.
skin underarms are alluring to me.
Your elbows are so functional.
Imagine how psycho we would sound if I said to you, "Hey man, can you say something nice about me?"
I know, dude.
It's like, that guy's coming.
And you know what, Joe? I would do it 1,000 times. I would be excited to say nice things about you.
I used to date a girl a long time ago, early 20s, who was like this, and sometimes I would just be like, I don't know what you want me to say. She's like, tell me I'm not going to die.
Oh my God. What?
And you know the pussy was popping too. That was insanely good sex.
One come later.
Yeah, she's like, tell me I'm not. And she wasn't looking at me. She was like Joker vibes.
Yeah.
Like, tell me I'm not going to die.
Gone. She's gone.
I was like, fuck.
She's
That
gone.
means I am going to die if I stay with this person.
Slowly unsheath.
Yeah, I mean, you've
the
probably
knife.
had this where I've definitely dated women where I'm like, if I keep up with this person, they are going to kill me.
Oh, 100%.
In
dude.
some way, shape, or form.
Oh my God.
You
Dude.
know?
She's going to make me into different shapes and forms.
Exactly.
Dude, you know what it is? It's that carefree, like, where it's like, oh, look at this vessel that doesn't require much.
I know.
Let me just ride this canoe to the ground.
Oh, this is a fun guy.
This is a fun guy.
Not a lot, but let me just absorb some of that.
Let me just download my software onto this fucking iPhone right now.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
Malware,
virus. They don't know that the second part of this vibe is detachment. That if it's not working, jettisoning will happen. And that's the scary part where it gets dangerous.
I know. Well, listen, here's a fact that we cannot ignore is that we're both stand-up comedians.
Right.
And that itself is a bit of a mental disease in that sense, in terms of needing people to look at us and validate us with laughter, like every 5 seconds.
But at least, and I'll say this, I'll die for that idea because at least my darkest version gives you some utility.
I agree.
You know?
Exactly.
At least, okay,
You're paying
fine.
into it. You're paying into it.
You know what?
You know?
I'll say it. I'm a bitch for needing this.
Yeah.
And it's true.
No, I'm with
I'm a
you.
bitch.
I'm with you. I'm like, this is a hole in me.
This is the opposite of anything Hinduism says, anything Buddhism says.
Anything any religion says. You know what I mean?
Because we're trying to be the prophets right now.
Exactly.
Literally. We're trying to be idols, and this is against everything.
It's true. And we're doing this because we have some deep insecurity about us.
But hey, you get a laugh out of it.
Exactly. At least you're getting something out of it. You know, at least for the first half of my set, Indian crowd. But
But do I harvest women, to laugh for me?
Yeah.
Like some Playboy Ranch for laughter? No. That'd be great, actually.
you do, actually.
Oh my God, that'd be fucking amazing. Just I walk in, everyone's like, dude, that's amazing.
I know. But the thing is, I would never enjoy killing if I didn't like the jokes that I was telling.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like, I think about comics who are whatever. They're just a specific vibe. Maybe they're really good looking, or maybe they got through on a gimmick or whatever, and they got somebody writing jokes for them. I never understood comedians who go out there and get other people to write their jokes for them.
Well, they get the results without any of the work.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I understand that as an appeal,
Right.
but I'm like, I got into this because I'm like, no, I got some funny shit to say. You know what I mean?
It makes no sense if you're not doing it yourself. It's just like, how do you even make it seem fun on stage if it's not you?
Right.
I never understood that, dude.
Right.
If I don't believe in something with all my heart, it bombs every single time.
Every time.
It just bombs on the fucking
Every
vine.
time. Like, I'll have bits that are like perfectly crafted,
Yeah.
actually, and they're
Yeah.
just objectively funny, but I'll say them, and it's not me. I'm not in it, and
Dude,
thus it's going to bomb.
That happened to my Eskimo joke. What are you calling it? You can't say the word Eskimo anymore.
I
It's offensive. The new term is ice homo.
Yeah.
Never worked,
That's
man.
pretty good.
It's still, to this day, I think my best joke worked 0 times. Man,
Now, the thing that was for you, what it was when you, again, we've brought this up many times, when you talked about curb stomping TERFs, transphobes. I was like, okay. I mean, I respect the compassion, I guess, for...
what was the joke, dude? I didn't say curb
It
stomping
was like,
turfs.
TERFs are appropriately named because
you should
they
step
need to
on.
be stepped on. But, shouts to you because The whole like everybody's queer thing hadn't really gone into full swing yet by then. So you were like kind of getting in on a trend that was happening.
Dude, I just found.
But then me and Dylan Palladino just like mercilessly
Just
mocked you
destroyed.
too much immediately. And we're not on a group chat or anything together. And I don't even talk to Dylan very often. But as soon as I saw that, I screenshot it and sent it to him. He was like, "What the fuck?"
You know why it wasn't fun or nice? Because it's not like you and Dylan are bros.
Yeah.
You just combined for hate.
Yeah, we did. We did.
just
Well, you know what? It was more like an intervention. We're like, "What's up with our boy?" You know.
But here's the thing. I just found a pun. I just found a fun
I know
pun.
it's true. You were
If
working
you find
stuff
a
out.
pun,
You know, I feel bad. I regret that because it had a chilling effect on you. Where you're like, maybe I can't express all my thoughts online anymore. My closest boys aren't being supportive.
you know, I just realized that I'm not good at Twitter, and I just stopped doing it. Maybe turf was the final death knell.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just not good at it. I kind of did
Well,
some
you know what it means to be good on Twitter? It means living on Twitter.
Yeah.
Like you have to, if you want to pop on Twitter, you have to be on there 24/7.
Yeah.
That's why I got off there. That's why I'm not a social media king the way I would wish I was.
Oof, dude. I remember. Yeah, your Twitter was always a little crazy.
You know.
You know.
Yeah.
Your Twitter was always a little crazy because you were on the MangoBae Twitter,
Yeah.
which is of both of us.
Yes.
And my mom just saw the MangoBae say like she thought it was both of us. Usama, what are you talking about? Bucked. What is bucked? I'm
It would
like,
be that, but then it would be some other off the wall shit, which would be like cum related, you know?
or, yeah, I'll show you some WikiLeaks.
Yeah.
And then like, and it was like, what is this? Half conspiracy, half jizz
I know. It's,
combination.
but I don't like being on Twitter. I go on Twitter when I want to feel some hatred in my life.
That's not a good
you
thing
know?
to do.
That's not a good thing to do.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, I stay out of my boy's life. I don't fucking get in there or intervene in any way, shape, or form. Even if I'm like the mom that like just lets the son go no matter what they're doing and be like, well, Pranav's passionate. I never, everyone has their thing.
Yeah, I fell into doing the Twitter because it was still a pandemic and like everything's online.
Yeah.
know? And like being online in general is like that's what it was. But I fucking hated every minute of it. Like I have a very good friend now. I've known this kid since we were in like 5th grade. Really smart guy, got a PhD at Berkeley, poli-sci guy, studied Ukraine, Russia, all that shit. You know what I mean? And now he has found his lane as a human being on Twitter.
Who's this guy?
His name's Neil. You've never met him. He's like a pro-Ukraine. He's all about the war effort there. Anybody who knows me knows I'm not, but whatever. Right. I support Neil. I love him. I'm glad he's finding this kind of actualization of all of his abilities and a lot of research and a lot of brilliance, in this form. But now I texted him the other day. I was like, hey, man, I'm glad to see you're growing on Twitter. And he was like, dude, thank you so much, bro. He's like, I realized between all of my actual academic training, my abilities as a writer, and my desire to mock things, that I was actually built for this. And, he's on his way now. So
what's crazy is
follow
that
Neil Abrams on Twitter.
That's a beautiful story, kind of.
Yeah.
Although I don't relish that every Indian group of friends has like that one politically exploded Indian.
Yeah.
Who just gets in there.
Yeah.
And, the Indian passion goes into like the
Well,
wrong
he's not
thing.
Indian.
He's what?
He's Jewish.
What? Jewish.
Yeah.
The Indians of the Middle East, bro.
Right.
I had an Indian friend who was like this, bro, and he was like heavy, like just heavy politics guy, just in there. But then he would just sound crazy talking.
Yeah.
He'd be like, do you know blah, 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 fact?
I know.
And I'm like, where'd you get this from? The Hill. Like, great, dude. Awesome. I have to listen to you now.
Dude, you know what's so funny, though, about the Neil thing? Is I have another friend who's huge on Twitter. His name's Aaron Mate, a journalist, right? Very, very well known. Total anti-neocon.
Yeah.
His politics, I conform more to his politics. Neil has built a lot of his following off of hating on Aaron.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is very ironic.
And do they know each other in real life?
They've never met once.
Just,
They've never met once. And the
both
irony,
your boys.
the beautiful thing of this, actually, I can't believe I haven't talked about this, is that if you talk to Aaron Mate, he will legitimately tell you that I helped radicalize him in certain ways, and that has in some way contributed to being who he is now, and especially this guy on Twitter. This guy's huge now, actually.
Yeah.
He's on the Russell Brand show a lot. He's like on some big stuff, But if you ask him, he'll be like, actually, yes, Pranav did put me on to certain thinking in politics and in geopolitics. Before that, this motherfucker was reading like Obama's memoir and shit, and trying to be on MSNBC or whatever, And it's really ironic because in many ways I've given Neil a purpose via
Right, so you're almost like the puppeteer with both these people in a weird way.
Puppeteer is not how I would describe it, but I do enjoy.
Sorry for saying exactly what it was.
I do enjoy seeing how the small but still somewhat significant part I've played in this online drama. Neil's not as big as Aaron on Twitter yet.
He's coming though.
But he's coming, you know. I just saw him get 1,000 follower pop recently.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, the
Here it
boy's
goes.
doing it.
You kind of recommend a book.
You know.
On the DMs. Hey, read this if you want. Don't worry about it. I just read it. It's fucking amazing. You're like, yeah, me too. I thought so.
But I do enjoy the fact that I have some role in this, you know.
And it's only getting bigger. It's one of those like proto things where it's like, you know, some guy's gonna find out your role. Actually, do you know that this comedian was the reason why he blew up the World Trade Center again? You know what I'm saying? Like 9/11/2 is all based on Pranav's ideology.
I know. And like 9 out of 10 things I say.
I fully believe that there's like some diary here somewhere where if I find it, it would be like the most insane thoughts. Like it's a Mein Kampf version.
No.
Pranav Kampf.
The Mein Kampf.
Mein Kampf. Parn. And again, this is a joke. This is just like a flight of fancy that I have. My Duk. And I know it's not true, but I love the idea of like,
I know.
You're actually, but the scene is you're actually in candlelight, you know, writing this, and it's on calligraphy, and you're just frantically writing these.
You know what the problem is? I've tried journaling before, but my handwriting is too bad that I can't read my own handwriting, so it's basically useless. You know,
should have been a doctor. Already halfway there.
Exactly. So my handwriting is too shit to actually be able to do it.
But you know what I'm saying? Like your geopolitical knowledge is such that I'm like, you know, I think Pranav is actually the 9th reptilian overlord, you know, because I surrounded myself with fucking goofballs and guys. One guy was politics, and everyone else was just like, "Dude, you see Mia Khalifa's tits last night?"
Yeah. Because I am basically a goofball. That's why I can't ever go too deep into it. You know what I mean?
I know.
This is why I've not made. If I was wanting to go hard in the paint, I would be on Twitter. You know what I mean? Doling out opinions.
But it's funny.
Doling out Hindutva hot takes and stuff like that. But the fact is that I'm not somebody who's fully bought into Hindutva. I'm not somebody who's fully bought into anything.
What I 100%, I feel you, and that's why we're the besties, you know, because you're not that guy.
You can't be that guy.
What I'm saying is, it's like having a 10-foot wing frame and being like, I don't rock climb.
Yeah,
I don't want to do it. And it's like you just have if you wanted to, you could be the Kelly Slater of this thing.
I like making jokes about birds having diarrhea.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? That's who I am.
But the other version of you is saying birds aren't even real.
I know, exactly. If birds were real, why they got all this diarrhea, y'all?
I don't know any bird that's had this much diarrhea for real. Yeah, you're comparing diarrhea pics of different birds.
I know.
Check out this bird. That's a full shit.
All kinds of diagrams and
diarrheagrams.
I would be the Alex Jones of that, you know.
You know what I'm saying?
But I can't be that. That's not who I am.
Because here's the thing. I will say this, and you know, you had a couple of clips you did in the past where you did like new style, like Schultz was putting out some new style clips, and then you did yours. You had like 2 or 3 of them, like weed is getting legalized or whatever. And they were so fucking good. They were so fucking good because it was like the Schultz version with some knowledge in it.
Yeah.
You kind of did 2 or 3 and you kind of bounced. I think that's when Adi was here and Adi was, you could like.
Adi was my producer for that, yeah.
Producer, and I was like, this is a weird mix of both these worlds.
I know.
In a perfect kind of mix.
But you know what? The fact is, like, I don't like
staying in it.
I don't like being the hot takes guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I do not believe, because what I hate about the culture right now is everybody's so fucking certain about everything, you know? And I don't want to be that. And I find myself getting close to that sometimes if I'm online too much.
Yeah.
And then I have to be like, take a deep breath, bro. Detach.
Dude, you know where I saw this in real time? This hot takes thing?
Yeah.
I went to a Barnes & Noble a couple weeks ago, right? And I was going around. I was like, like a fun, like, a memoir of somebody, some whatever. I walk. No one's anywhere. I'm like, where is everybody? No one's a self-help. No one. I go to like the U.S. crime war affairs. 30,000 people are there. Every class, girls like they're 5, Japanese schoolgirls, fucking white incels. My mom was there. Everyone's there learning about U.S. Relations. I'm like, what? When did we all stop being like Harry Potter fans?
I know, dude.
It was so weird, dude.
When did we stop being Harry Potter fans? I'll tell you when, motherfucker. When that bitch,
Dean Thomas, who was black,
yeah,
by the way, sabotage Harry at every turn. All right,
So that's where that is. Anyway, dude, Diwali is now a holiday in New York City.
Getting the stories. I don't know why this took this long. Okay.
There's more than enough Indians.
Yeah. Should have been after the namesake drop, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know why it took this
Well,
long.
here's here's what my belief why it hasn't dropped is because Indians traditionally, Hindus specifically, dharmic folk, Hindu, Buddhist, Sikh, Jain, right? Never were the Idpal people. They came to the country fully ready to just assimilate. They'll
Right.
pray at home privately, maybe. But otherwise they're here to like, hey, I want to make a better life for myself and just be an American, right? But now everything is so identity driven that they're like, okay, well, this is now part of what it means to make it in America. Is we have to have Diwali as a national holiday or as a citywide holiday.
That's the thing. I agree with that. I think for a long time it was just like on a show, right?
Yeah.
Like we're just like some Indian writer on the show. We'll have a Diwali episode of blah 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 of
Right.
The Office.
Yeah.
We'll have a Diwali episode of the serial killer documentary. Whatever. Diwali vibes.
A very Dahmer Diwali.
Dahmer's wearing like a fucking kameez, and you're like, yeah, it was crazy that one time where I fucked her and then killed her, but I was wearing
him.
He's gay. He was a gay boy.
Yeah. Pride. Hello. Shouts to Pride.
And now again, it's like we're here, we're queer, we're Indian, and this bitch, kind of thing. And now everything has to be like, get ready for it even more. By the way, Diwali is just the beginning. This is Gayatri,
It's going to
Fanchayatri.
be holy. It's going to be next. It's going to be this. It's going to be that.
Hey, Bobby Jindal's birthday is a national holiday now.
But you know what it was? It's because there was I think one congressman or maybe city councilwoman, Jennifer Rajkumar.
Yeah.
Maybe Caribbean Hindu. But again, that's the type where it's like I have to make my mark legislatively. You know
Right.
what I mean? So all this goes back around to my sincere belief that all Idpal is a cottage industry for people to be making some cash.
I mean, it's the
And to
Muslims always do the
get
same
some-
thing. Ilhan Omar, you got what's her name?
Rashida Tlaib.
Rashida Tlaib.
But
do the same
here's
thing.
the interesting thing about that is I don't think Muslims would have been like this either if it weren't for 9/11, right?
Well, honestly, it was more survival in the beginning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where there was a genuine, actual hate that we're
Yes,
fighting.
exactly.
Right? No one's fighting Indian hate here. Right?
Right.
There's no such thing. You could have like a anti-Gandhi naming day.
Right.
Where everyone just talks about stop calling your kids Gandhi.
Yep.
That would be that wouldn't be that surprising, to be honest.
It wouldn't.
Have a full field day. We're fighting Gandhi naming discrimination or whatever.
Yeah.
That's all there.
Well, I respect
But-
way more the Ilhan Omars, the Rashida Tlaibs than I do the Sayira Raos.
Right.
You know what I mean? The hedge fund wives or whatever who are just fully white coated as
But
is.
I'm wondering if they wouldn't be the same intensity if there wasn't any Muslim hate. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm sure they would go just as hard, annoyingly.
Oh, you mean they're just
You-
annoying people?
There's some, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They have a little things to stand on because of the little bit of antagonism.
Yeah, but you know what? They would have kept it to yelling at people at the grocery store as
Sure.
opposed to being huge on Twitter, publishing books, and finding their lane in this careerist way.
Sure.
It would have been Rashida Tlaib or whoever or Sayura Rao. They would have just been people wanting to speak to the manager at the grocery store rather than being I'm a freedom fighter now. Look at me.
That's AOC is so lucky she has that much pigment. One less ounce
know.
of pigment,
I know.
this whole thing would have been done.
She does be talking like this,
Yeah.
and she's unless she's in the particular audience, and then she starts fucking up the verb to be. You know what I mean? Which is so offensive to black people. Actually, as soon as you get in, you're we be like this. It's girl, come on, okay?
I'd be known to say some of that shit too,
Yeah.
man.
We do, but we're in the culture business. We're not out there trying to pander to voting blocks.
That's the thing. Yeah, I mean, why doesn't somebody stitch this video of her in different vlogs?
Right.
She comes in, fucking black people.
Well, they do, but the only people who do are right wingers. You
Right.
know what I mean? So it's yeah.
I mean, wait. So wait. Diwali's a national holiday, which means what?
It's a citywide holiday.
There's no
It's
school.
In New York City, there will be no school. Of course, this year it won't matter because it falls on a Sunday, so it's not going to make a difference. But it's now a recognized school holiday.
I'm about to get right wing on these hoes eventually.
Yeah, I know.
Eventually, I'm being like, what? Listen, this is Chaldea Day, the day our father. It's when does it end? I get it,
Every day is going to be a holiday. So,
right?
we're not going to be working.
This is the day One Piece came out.
Exactly.
And we have to know.
Today's National Lactose Intolerance Heritage Day. So yeah, nobody drink any milk. No milk or dairy products.
Pour milk into the harbor. Actually,
Yeah.
come down.
Exactly.
We're gonna burn down a pizzeria. Actually, come down
We're
and
to
see us.
protest in front of Luigi's Pizzeria. Okay.
Are you bigot? You bigot? We're gonna shoot French people by firing squad.
It's like it's annoying. It's annoying. I'm not annoyed with the Diwali thing. I think there's enough Indians and enough Hindus in New York where, yes, you get a day off of
Yeah.
school. But my parents never kept me home from school for Diwali.
No,
You
dude.
know, they didn't
go.
give a shit. They're like, we're gonna keep all the lights on
My
at
mo-
night,
my
so
mom was
baby
like-
Lakshmi will come to the house.
Dude, I would go to school with the goat's blood on me.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
exactly.
saying? I just sacrificed my pet.
Exactly. And you know what? We bring up a great point here, which is that real Indians, real Browns aren't taking a day off school. There's no days off. That's the real Indian ethic right there. The real Brown ethic, the real Bengali, Bangladeshi ethic. We don't take off days of school.
The real Indian holiday is to commemorate the day they stopped snow days and made people go to school remotely.
Exactly.
That's the real Indian
Exactly.
commemoration.
Exactly. It was a Zoom
Moment
day.
of silence for the genius who realized remote can also work during snow days.
Because they were hard on us, dude. It's like our God is math.
Snow out?
Yeah.
You
studying
kidding
maths.
me? Math, yeah.
Yeah, maths.
The maths.
Maths.
You know why we love math so much? It's always in plural.
Exactly.
I want not math.
Exactly.
I want
We
math,
need
sir.
more math.
I want all the math. Yeah, you're right. This is goofy shit, dude. You know, and now I feel for Italians who are racist all of a sudden because
Yeah.
we're taking all these random holidays. You know, this is
What? No fucking Columbus Day.
so he did a couple genocides. But then when you're losing that, and some guy's like, Lefties Day,
know.
to commemorate all the left-handed.
I know.
You're like, okay, at least Columbus was an explorer.
I know.
You know what I'm
What?
saying?
No fucking Padre Pio Day. Maybe we got a little of that, huh?
Andre P.
Dude, I mean, he had the permanent stigmata. Joe, you must know about Padre Pio.
Yes, he was uncorruptible.
Yeah, so they say.
But all that shit's fake.
Oh, stop it, Joe.
Like the saints that bodies didn't decompose and they're on
Yeah.
display. Most of those are just like wax they put over them, like they're like wax masks. So
All right, we
it's
got a
not
non-believer.
actually-
We got an infidel in our
Wow,
midst.
And Jesus didn't walk on water.
You know what
huh?
I love about that's why I kind of love Catholicism is because it's very like Hinduism in many ways because they
Yeah.
have so many saints and stuff. And when you think about that, they say that about like sadhus, like
Yeah.
oh, this guy was had hit nirvana or what am I thinking? It's oh god, what is the term? I can't believe I've forgotten this term. I'm a bad Hindu now. Moksha basically
Right.
or whatever. And he was in samadhi. This sadhu is in samadhi so long that he just stayed that way for 500 years. He's not even technically dead.
Right.
He's just in deep
that's
samadhi.
def-
That's like the Padre Pio type shit.
That sainthood is the same thing.
Yeah.
You actually have to have a miracle to be a saint.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Something crazy has to happen.
Exactly.
You gotta have like
Yeah.
3 of them, I think.
Three confirmed.
Yeah.
Three
miracles.
confirmed miracles.
Yeah.
He went to the hospital and only green lights happened
Yeah,
or something.
yeah.
Because they're getting all kind of gay. Like, ones now are like, what the fuck?
I know,
He
exactly.
He went viral off 2 clips in a row. The Gen Z saints. He said, on God, and the water shook in his lake
He
house.
turned water into Four Loko. But I do like it. Catholicism is kind of pagan in that way, so I fucks with it.
It's creepy. It's creepy sometimes. It's sort of like
Well, I respect Catholicism in a way because it's the most like in your face. Like if Protestants kind of like a spring break, Catholicism is like this is what's going on, and even though the people hate that, I like the way the stringency because it's like at least you have a value system, you got a principle.
I love that the Vatican is said to actually hold. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
Is actually said to have be in possession of alien craft and
Yeah.
like alien materials.
I've heard this.
And that they discovered it. It was during World War II, fall of Mussolini's regime, and there was like an intense sighting of some sort or like a crash of some kind of vessel, and the Vatican were the people who recovered it and then handed part of it over to the U.S. government, to the
Right.
Allied forces.
That's real shit.
That's real shit.
well, like all my Christian friends growing up, they all had like crosses hanging in their houses.
Yeah, of course.
My family all had crucifixes hanging in their houses, which is the difference is a bloody Jesus,
Yeah.
scary,
That's
dying
real.
on
He's
the
got blood coming out of his eyes. And
Oh, there's one at my grandparents' church. It was like human size, and he was just looming over the whole
Dude,
place.
some of them are like really like they put
Scary.
they
Scared
put the
the shit out
barbed
of us.
wire on him too. When
Oh,
we do
yeah.
that one,
Oh,
we have
yeah.
like the barbed wire one.
Oh yeah,
I'm like, bro, this is like getting a little funky.
Yeah, there wasn't barbed wire back then. You
I don't
were
know.
adding your own
Like,
flourishes.
what is
Why is Jesus got nipple clamps
what
on?
is this? Alligator clips that are just
Yeah.
on his nipples? What is this, dude?
Did you hear about that one church a few years back? There was this Mother Mary statue out front, and it was crying, so they thought it was like a miracle or something. And then they found out that just one of the toilets were leaking
Oh my
somewhere.
God.
What the fuck? And it was coming out the eyes?
Yeah, it just somehow like trickled
my
up.
God.
Yeah, they thought that the piss was tears.
So people were probably drinking like toilet water and like licking it.
That could be the water into wine thing. Like water was so unhealthy back then. When you drank it, you
yeah, see,
got
that's what
fucked up.
happens when you be mocking.
Oh, that's a miracle.
That is a miracle.
sainthood.
That's like when there was this is back in the 90s. Ganesh statues all around the world were drinking milk.
Oh my God.
This is awesome. That was awesome.
What
Nobody
is
ever
this?
really debunked it.
What is this?
Like around the world, there was, and this I remember seeing this on CNN. My parents taped it on their VCR. There were statues of Ganesh that were first started just in India, where milk is you give milk to deities and stuff like that. You bathe things in milk. Milk is very important in a lot of Hindu sacraments, if we can use that phrase. And Ganesh was seen actually draining from his tusk milk from various vessels, and then it spread outside of India, where it was happening in other places in the world.
Badass.
Yeah, and that shit nobody debunked
What the fuck?
because our
It's still
shit's
going.
real. Our shit's real.
I love that, dude.
Yeah.
I love that.
Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha.
One time I was praying and I felt the breeze. Your move, Hinduism. Your move.
You know why that's probably real is because
All right, Joe. Careful.
What? Go.
'Cause
Oh
it's-
boy.
it's so-
If we fucking go. What?
it's so stupid that people would, if it was made up, they'd make up something better. It's just a guy drinking milk.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
What do you mean? I don't get it.
If
What?
it was made up, they would have done something better.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I saw
Yeah.
someone flying
Yeah,
around or something
exactly.
like that.
Yeah. It was like the statues are accepting milk. They're pleased. The God is pleased with us.
Yeah.
So Joe accepts
It's just
it.
so.
So you've accepted Hinduism as your new
Also
way
the
of life.
idea-
It's
of,
so
like,
anticlimactic.
The Virgin Mary thing too is like it's like really like she's like, I'm a virgin. Oh fuck, that's crazy. Whoa. What?
The biggest city girl move
I
ever
know,
was being
literally.
like, I'm a virgin, guys.
She's the ultimate version of I don't usually do this.
Yeah, exactly.
that's the beginning of that.
So I think we got to continue this conversation on Patreon right now.
All right, let's go, because we're going to be talking
should.
about gay marriage in India.
Yeah, we're coming in. Patreon.com/MangoBae.
Your mango